Jai Bhagwan, Woman Warriors, and welcome to day 45. So today I wanted to introduce the first stages of what is known as the 15 general guidelines for healthy eating. In the yoga and Ayurveda world, it's called Upayogasmastha. And so in yoga and in Ayurveda specifically, it is not just about what you eat, and there's a whole bunch of stuff around that we will learn over this 108 days regarding food pairing and seasonal eating and all of those kinds of things. But one of the more important things that is coupled with that is not just what you eat, but how you eat it. And so the mechanics of eating is something that's really important. So the first three concepts out of this 15 general guidelines is, the first is food should be taken in proper place. So the environment in which you eat really has a huge impact on your digestion. So are you eating at your desk in front of a computer, or scrolling on your phone, or reading a book at the same time where your attention is distracted? Are you eating in your car? That's a big one. I've worked with a lot of women who eat in their car, and the movement of the car while they're eating is actually very disruptive to digestion. Are you eating in a fast food line? So not only the quality of fast food, but also the notion of fast food, that it's really not particularly well put together, and that can have a impact on your digestion. So thinking about the environment in which you eat, it's always recommended that you eat in a quiet environment. So believe it or not, in Ayurveda, business lunches or getting together for lunch is actually not recommended, especially if there's conversation involved, and that conversation could have some impact on how you're digesting your food. Maybe the conversation isn't particularly joyful, or even if it is joyful, it's taking away from the experience of eating the food and absorbing the nutritive value. So just something to think about. The second guideline is eat food that is prepared by loving hands in a loving way. So it's always important that whether those loving hands are you, or those loving hands are a chef or somebody in your family, that there isn't any negativity that's going into the creation of that food. My husband and I will often talk about just being very specific with restaurants it is that we pick, because sometimes if the chef is angry or if the staff aren't particularly happy, that energy goes into the food it is that you're eating. So ensuring that if you are the person who is making the food, whether it's for yourself or for your family, that your mind and your heart are in a good space. And also recognizing that when you go out to eat, or you go to a friend's house or something like that, that the food is made with loving hands. So those are two. And the third is saying grace before meals. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to be a quote religious person, but even in spirituality, we do have a period of acknowledgement of where the food comes from. So giving opportunity before we just go into sort of the shovel and guzzle, we go into the opportunity of being mindful and just taking a moment and recognizing where the food comes from, the farmers that grew it, the folks that transported it to your local market, or even if you go to the farmer's market, when you receive that food from the person behind the table that's giving it to you, recognizing that as well. So those are the three for today. Food should be taken in proper place, eat food with loving hands, and saying some form of grace or acknowledgement before you eat. I hope that's helpful. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Jai Bhagwan.